everyone, my name is Amanda and I'm the Fun Size Reader, and today I wanted to talk to you about A Kingdom of Stars and Shadows by Holly Renee. I was convinced to read this book because I saw a TikTok. Okay, BookTok is like really detrimental to my TBR, but it has been great because I feel like I really like getting to know indie authors and reading books that are published by indie authors that are on Kindle Unlimited, that are easy for me to just like pick up and read whenever I want. I saw a video where this girl was basically like, this is the best book I've ever read. Like, I freaking love this book. It's got everything in it that you want in a fantasy romance. So I was like, yeah, that's my jam. Of course, when I was like coming out of a slope, like reading slow down. And so I queued it up on my Kindle and I was like, here we go. Synopsis. This is about a girl named Adara who is what's called starborn or star blessed. Basically, she was born as a human with these like marks on her body showing that she has power that runs through her veins, and she is sold off or promised by her mother. Specifically, her father died and didn't want her to go through with this, but by her mother, for her to be married to the Fae Prince so that he could essentially use her power to save their kingdoms. In the time that she has to be collected and go to the Fae kingdoms, she kind of is enticed by the captain of the guard, who happens to be the Fae Prince that she's betrothed to's brother. I gave this book 3 stars. I liked it, but I wasn't as enthusiastic about it as the person that I saw on BookTok was. I'll kind of go over things that I liked and things that were not really my jam in a minute. But I think part of it comes from the spice rating on this one is 5 stars. This book, the plot was the spice. The rest of it was kind of the subplot, which is why I think that it was kind of hard to give a synopsis, because it's a lot of spice, So this was definitely 5 chili peppers on the spice scale. The majority of the book was spice, starting very early on, very descriptive and very full of language. I was trying to think of what tropes were found in this book, and I think the like hidden power is definitely part of it. The forbidden romance, I think, is in there because obviously she's kind of drawn to the brother, not the person that she is betrothed to. So that relationship is forbidden. There's also an element of like secret romance. There's also kind of fated mates, or we kind of get that hinted at us. There's a 1-horse trope thrown in there. Just kind of like a typical fantasy set of tropes. Things that I liked about this book. I thought it was very easy to read. I thought it was, I don't want to say addicting, but like it read really easily. It read well. I wanted to keep reading it as I was reading it. I really liked Adara as a character. I do think she was a bit trusting at times and kind of like jumped into things too quickly. But I think that kind of connects to the whole fated mates trope. A lot of the, well, that escalated quickly, I think can be attributed to the fated mates trope. But that will kind of like lead into things I didn't love in a second. I did like that this was a quick read. I think it was fairly short. So it was very easy to get through. It was not really like a palate cleanser, but it was, if you're just trying to read something, get lost in it, and just have it be an enjoyable experience, then yes, it was the perfect book for that. So some of the things that I didn't click with. I don't like when books are fantasy books that are just meant to be like smut to be smut. I do like they're having a little bit of a plot, and I feel like from the very beginning of this book, it kind of jumped into the spice almost immediately, and I think that was too much too soon, especially like with the way that Adara's character was written, her kind of being inexperienced and being sold off to these fae, and her not being trusting of these fae, and then all of a sudden she's being very intimate very quickly, and I just thought that that didn't fit right. I think if there was a little bit more build up, it would have been more believable. There still could have been, you know, a decent amount of spice, but I think it happened too quickly with the way that her character was thinking about being essentially pawned off on the fae and having them control her and take her and, you know, steal her powers. I do think that part of that, though, plays in with the fated mates, and so I understand why, but I don't necessarily love when books use fated mates as a crutch to put a ton of spice from the very beginning, because there are so many fated mates books where it's like a slow-ish burn, and I feel like this one kind of relied on that fated mates trope to put in a lot of spice and have that be uncharacteristic of the character just because of the fated mates aspect. I did think it was a little different that there was like fae and vampires kind of mixed together. It was slightly confusing. Overall, I think I was just looking for a little bit more based on how I heard other people describe the book. But I think that's kind of where readers get led astray. Like if they're expecting one thing and then it's not that, they kind of don't connect to the book. And so I don't in any way think that it's a bad book. I just think it wasn't right for me at this time. This one is available on Kindle Unlimited. It does look like there's going to be a second one. I haven't decided if I'm going to read it or not yet. I think it kind of just depends how I'm feeling when it comes out. But it is going to be a series, so if you are interested, it is on KU. And if you'd like a hard copy of the book, I will put a link in the description down below. Thanks for chatting about A Kingdom of Stars and Shadows with me today. Don't forget, you can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at The Fun Size Reader. See you guys next time.